Zenov takes 2 steps back from the porch, shocked at what he is seeing.
Impossible! Natasi?
It is good to see you too, Zenov. And you as well, Euclid? Of course.
Hold on! I thought Dragonborn had killed you!
Huh? Oh, no, he allowed me to live. I believe you have been misinformed. Zenov calms down. Misunderstood is the correct term. So what are you doing here in Japan? Well, when Atlantis was on the brink of collapse, I came into this dimension, but I inadvertently landed here in Japan. After a few years, I became a citizen of the country. I even learned how to speak Japanese. I can see that you have been busy. And this house looks like it can hold up to 3 people. Oh, yes. I have a family now. My husband is out at work in Sendai, and my daughter is in Academy City. I guess that is a good thing, considering what we are here for. Not as he realizes what the man is saying. The prophecy? Indeed. 2 days ago, Zenov and I had the same vision in our sleep. And it is very concerning for our future. We are wondering if you know about it. Yes, I do. Unfortunately, it will affect not only this realm, but our old home as well.
What? How is that possible?
Come inside. We have much to discuss. Prime Minister Euclid walks down the nave of the famous Zen Chapel. He stops near the altar, staring at a woman praying on her knees in front of an open Bible. Madame Brusile Degu, Monsieur le Premier Ministre, you're not the only person who I am visiting. You in particular have been keeping your head down, for the most part. You're lucky that you don't have the reputation of your brother, the Black Death. You wouldn't be standing here in Paris. I will just get into the point. Your son-in-law is dead. Her eyes widens a little. She stands up, turns around, and stares at the expressionless man dead in the eyes. Monsieur, I'd be calling you a liar right now. It is no lie. Because he digs into his pocket and pulls out a photograph. He assisted me in the Battle of Belfast. She stares at the photo of a gravestone with the name Jason Hunter etched onto it. Her heart beats rapidly. Memories of him and her during his wedding and holiday hangouts floods her mind. She's left speechless. He was one of the best tank commanders I had ever seen. What do you need? I know that you know of the individual responsible, and I know that your grief will lead you to revenge. I will see to it that you will, if you allow me to ask you for assistance. Inside of the White House of the American capital, U.S. President Roberto Katz is having a pleasant conversation. The person he is speaking to is the newly elected President Michael Eisenhower. Secretary of the Navy Jackson Denver runs into the Oval Office with a sheet of paper. The 2 men looks to him approaching the desk. Jack, what's wrong? Mr. President, Ike, we have a problem. What is it? I just got a message from Admiral Halsey. This is his report. Carrier Strike Group 5 has suspended its operation to attack Godzilla since the monster has gotten far within Tokyo and is or about to enter Academy City. The reasoning behind this decision will surprise you. A massive fleet of 700 Celtic B-84 bombers have breached Japanese airspace and bombed Academy City around 7:30 p.m. Tokyo time. The 2 men stand up from their seats, stunned. Soon afterwards, from 7:35 p.m. to 7:45 p.m., another unknown monster arrived and is in the process of attacking Academy City. Godzilla is currently in pursuit at this very moment. Around 7:55 p.m., Celtic Crusader forces are parachuting down in a massive assault. Communication with the city and its leadership has been cut off. The JSDF has switched priorities to save the civilians who are trapped in the city. No further developments. Tell Admiral Halsey that his Carrier Strike Group has permission to assist the JSDF and get those people out of the city. And tell the other U.S. forces in the surrounding area to help them out. Yes, sir. Bobby, the American people need to know about this. You're right. He pushes a button on the phone receiver. Yes, sir? Get the press in here. We got a problem. All throughout the United States, the people are completely unaware of the events that are happening in the Far East. Suddenly, at 6:05 a.m., every radio station and every TV station is interrupted. We interrupt your morning program with an emergency news bulletin. We now go live to the President of the United States. Good morning. I'm sorry for interrupting your morning time, but this is very dire. Moments ago, while I was speaking to newly elected President Eisenhower, the Secretary of the Navy approached us with a message sent to him by Admiral Halsey in Tokyo. And ladies and gentlemen, especially those of Japanese descent, brace yourselves, as I am about to repeat what he had told us. He indeed repeats the words that Denver had told him in Ike, and rightfully, the people listening and watching are stunned and feeling sympathetic. But the feeling slowly disappears, giving way to anger and disgust. Right now, our available forces are in the process of aiding the JSDF in the largest search and rescue operation in history. At the same time, the British government has called out the Celtic Irish for their actions, and I am sure that Congress and the rest of the world will do the same. Let it be known, while we do not blame the people of Irish ethnicity, American or otherwise, we do not blame the Celtic government, and their actions will not go unnoticed. Thank you, and have a good day. An explosion above ground shakes the bomb shelter underneath the Kremlin. President of the Soviet Republic and the founder of the Communist Party, Dmitry Yukashvili, sits in a chair in front of a table, looking at the battle map of the entire country. General Rokossovsky barges into the room, tired and exhausted. My word, you're more paler than bed sheets. What is wrong? Comrade, that bastard Zenov has attacked the enemy city. Dmitry stands up. What? How long ago was this? A few minutes ago. You will not get away with this. Inform all armies on all fronts to show no mercy and show these Celtic believers what happens when you go against the motherland. Right away, comrade. The news of the bombing of Academy City spreads far and wide across the world. Condemnation and tension between Britain and Ireland increases. But within the city itself, the effects are starting to spread, and it has only begun. School District 7. A rubble shakes, then moves. Congo crawls out, coughing out dust from her mouth. She turns around and reaches her hand in. Come on, I got you. A hand grabs hers. She pulls, bringing Shokoho out. Wanai and Awatsuki helps her as they crawl on themselves. Junko Hukaze, Satori Kobayashi, Yuri Sukabasu, Kumaki Makigami, Kisa Asato, and Mibuki Kazan, all part of Misaki's clique, crawls out and rushes to their leader.
My lady, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm alright. Where's everyone else? The Tokibidai girls looks all around them. Their dorm has fallen into silence. Not a voice can be heard, and the building itself is utterly damaged to the point where it is unrecognizable. Kongo, Hokaze, and Shokoho spots a body. The girl's lower half has been crushed, exposing the internal organs scattered and blood flowing from it. The three collectively looks away, with the latter vomiting. We need to leave this place. The girl stands to their feet, but Misaki collapses almost immediately. She grunts, clinging and clenching her left ankle. Kongo turns and sees her, but she also sees the ankle twisted in the other direction. She and Wanai rushes to her and lifts her up by her arms. Now carrying her, they and Shokoho's clique walks out of the destroyed dorm. Upon exiting, they find that the area, no, the entire city, is like something one would see in an old wartime photo. But reality sets in, and it is unnerving. The girl turns to the right and continues walking down the street. Come on, let's hope that the hospital still stands. School District 22, 3rd level. The 45,365 civilians are aware of the events that are happening above ground. The only source that they are seeing is via a news helicopter filming Godzilla as he makes his way through School District 23. But the cameraman turns the camera to what is ahead of him. The landscape of their beloved Academy City is a shell of what it used to be. In its place, In its place, massive trench holes, fallen towers, and crumbled streets. The people can only imagine if anyone managed to survive. The Mitsuha speed demon comes to a stop near a park. Mai Konri's hands are shaking. She slowly breathes in and out. She turns off the engine and lays down on the fuel tank, resting her head on her crossed arms. Oh God. I should have known. I should have known. The sound of Sphinx smowing gets her attention. She looks down and sees his head pop out of her pocket. She lifts her upper body and takes the injured cat out. She holds him high and looks at him. I'm sorry, little guy. This is as far as I'm going to take you. I just have to find someone who will take care of you. I can take care of him. She and the cat looks to the side. A straight, black, long-haired girl in a winter uniform of Kamijo school and a blank expression on her face stands next to the bike. What's your name? Aiza Himegame. Do you know this cat? I'm friends with the owner. Mai is unsure. She looks at the cat. She turns and places Sphinx onto Himegame's hands. Upon letting him go, she places her hands on the motorcycle handles but does not look away from the girl. Be careful. His leg got injured 4 days ago. Aiza nods her head. Then she notices the judgment armband on her jacket sleeve. Don't you think that it's a little bit dangerous for a search and rescue? Sometimes, you just gotta take some chances. Mai twists the handles and the speed demon drives off away from the area. Himegame looks down at Sphinx staring back at her. Her purr makes her smile, but the smile fades the moment she looks up at the giant screen showing the live news. Be careful. All of you. School District 3. A pile of rubble moves. A piece lifts up, revealing Kinohata using her back to lift it up. She pushes it away. Well, that's a first. Getting ultra bombed by a country we didn't expect. Hamazora, covering his girlfriend Takesuba with his body, rises up. Everyone okay? I'm ultra fine. Yeah, I'm alright. The sound of more propeller planes gets their attention. More of them? Soldiers? No. Celtic Crusaders jumps out of the cargo holds of the T-04 Pelicans. The 84th, 27th, 77th, 120th, 32nd, 88th, and 109th Crusader field armies have arrived and are parachuting into the destroyed city. No. This is different. Taketsubo in Kinohata looks at him. Shh. I knew this day would also happen. Come on. What? Where are we going? I know a place where we can get ultra prepared. Prepared? Wait. Don't tell me that we're... Without saying another word, Sayai nods her head. She runs past the two, with the couple following suit. Wait, what about Mugino? She'll be fine. That we should know. Above the ground, green laser shoots out of a pile of rubble. It explodes, revealing the level 5 meltdowner standing to her feet. Her mood is beyond anger. She aggressively brushes her hair back. She then grunts, clenching her right shoulder. Upon touching it, she finds that her right arm is gone. Her jacket is partially burned. Her artificial right eye is damaged, revealing a scar. She turns to her hideout. It is gone. Her anger builds. She looks up at the T-04 Pelicans. A sadistic smile forms on her face. So you finally did it, huh? You really think some bombs are able to stop me? Her smile fades as she hears a roar. She turns around, spotting Bagan hovering over School District 7. Her eyes then gazes upon the Celtic Crusaders parachuting into the city. Her smile reappears. She turns her body and walks forward. An artificial arm made of plasma forms from the stump, and she clenches the fist. Is that your little pet? How cute. She does not draw attention to the fact that she is speaking another language fluently. Green orbs form and hovers next to her head. You picked the wrong place to invade, but I'll gladly give you a welcoming gift. Central School District 7. Sutton, Uehara, Suzuri, and Yumikawa stares at Index, Montgomery, baffled and wide-eyed. I just can't believe it. Listen, I know that it might be hard to understand, but please, you have to. Yumikawa crosses her arms. Yumikawa crosses her arms and closes her eyes. Beings and kaiju from another dimension. That's something new. I mean, if you think about it, it does make sense, seeing as Godzilla and Bagan wouldn't be able to exist in this world. I'm at a loss of words, really. No, I was talking about speaking English well. But yeah, holy sh**. Different dimensions? What the hell? The Pelicans flies above the city with the Crusaders dropping out and parachuting. Yumikawa and Suzuki looks up. The former turns serious and the latter becomes scared. Okay, we can talk about different dimensions and languages later. Right now, we need to focus on surviving this sh**. Pardon my language, sister. It's okay, but yeah, we should. But all of our communications are knocked out. We can't contact the outside, and getting out is not going to be easy. An idea comes to Satin. She turns and places her hands onto Uehoro's shoulders. Do you still have it? What? Have what? That Morse code machine. Do you still have it? Kazari realizes it. She digs into her pocket and pulls it out, showing to her friend, Index, and the anti-skill officers. It's still in good use. I can be able to make wireless distress calls to the outside. Ruriko passionately hugs her friend. You rock! The two laughs, but their laughs are interrupted by Bagan's roar. They stop, and Elizabeth runs to cover. She plants her back on the wall and peeks her head out. 3 miles away, the beast lands on its feet and begins its search for the nun herself. Getting to a safe distance should be easy. Getting past Bagan and the Celts is a different story. Sun spots a cast iron frying pan. She bends down and picks it up. Yumikawa turns to the 99th squad. Alright, here's the plan. We need to extract these girls to a safe spot so that they can send out a distress signal to the outside. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
But where would we go? I know a place. It gives us a good view of the city, and the signals are very strong there.
Right, let's go.
The group runs in the opposite way, with Satin, with a frying pan in her hands, leading the way. A pair of doors opens. Kinohata reaches to the side and flicks a light switch. The lights turns on, revealing walls of row upon row of firearms of different types. Holy sh**! Where did you get all of these? She walks ahead and comes up to a wall full of assault rifles. Do you remember Stephanie Gorge's palace? That bitch that shot you all the hell? Yeah, why? Turns out she had a giant ultra stack of weapons that were just sitting in a warehouse.
So you stole them?
She grabs an M16A4 assault rifle and a bag full of 30-round magazine clips. I had some ultra help from Kiryu. Oh god, I forgot about her. Here, catch. She tosses the weapon and ammo bag, and the boy catches them both. He places the bag over his back and cocks the M16. She grabs a pair of M1911 pistols and tosses one to Shiagi. He grabs it and puts it in his pocket. What would you do? Protect ourselves and save some people from those Celtic bastards.
But you'll get killed.
It wouldn't be the first time.
What the?
Ian Takisubo looks to Kinohata dumbfounded. The girl is holding up a Barry's 50 BMG rifle with a sniper scope and bipod.
You've got to be kidding me.
What?
You expect me to wield that thing? I can barely hold an RPG.
Oh, relax. Besides, I got something ultra smaller for you. Oh yeah? What's that? L96A1, 10 rounds. Okay. She grabs and hands him the rifle. Kinohata then walks over and grabs an AKM assault rifle. She holds it close to her. Hello, Kalashnikov. It's time for some ultra payback. She cocks the rifle and hangs it over her back. Okay, you're starting to scare me now. It's the name of the inventor. Duh. She reaches down, picking up an M870 shotgun with a strap. As she loads it with 12-gauge slug rounds, Hamazura approaches Takitsubo. Listen, I know that you hate using your ability, but can you help us out with this one? What if it goes wrong like the last time? I won't let that happen. Trust me. She takes in a deep breath, then nods her head. Are you ultra sure about that, Shiage? What's that supposed to mean? I was ultra going to say that she can head to School District 22. No way. I'm not risking her getting killed. Ugh, you're so ultra stubborn. Fine. She can carry our ammo while she helps us spot soldiers. Awesome. Are you ready? Hell yeah. As the three exits the room, Kinohata hands Takisubo the backpack full of ammunition. The lights turns off and the doors closes. Fully armed, the three members of Item are on the move, and their leader is on a mission of revenge, bloody or otherwise. 8:05 p.m., School District 7. Jonathan Zenoff stands in the middle of the park, looking down on the ground. His eyes are gazing upon something. A giant banner translating to Happy 51st Anniversary, Academy City. A portal opens 20 yards away in front of him. The gargoyle drives out, with Euclides riding behind Kamajo. The portal closes, and the bike drifts to a stop 5 yards from the Celtic Prime Minister. Zenov himself slightly lifts his head, but his eyes move up, and stares at the two. Toma and Francis mounts off of the gargoyle, and the former turns it off and putting the keys in his pocket. Johnny's eyes veers back to the banner. Tomorrow will be the city's 51st anniversary. I am sure it would have been a lovely time with friends and colleagues, but I suppose the opportunity for such is no longer in discussion. Zenov finally lifts his head and stares at the two staring back at him. An eerie breeze brushes across the lands with the smell of smoke entering their nostrils. Fitting, is it not? For you, everything began here. And here we are again in the same location. Well, with only a few additions. How do you think it got to this point, huh? Standing by Montgomery instead of thinking of those around you. All of this would not happen in the first place, you know. Yet Bagan would have killed her anyway. A fair point, but you did not know at the time. So, Euclides told you everything, yes? Of our origin? Yeah, he did. But I feel like he hasn't told me everything. What in heaven's name are you talking about? Your personal lives. What it was like. Both brothers raises their eyebrows. I suppose our personal lives being told is in order. Also, Euclides, did you not say that wherever I and or my soldiers will be, you will be there? It is starting to become an empty promise. Who said that my promise was empty? He reaches to his side and takes out a walkie-talkie. Everyone in position? Oui, monsieur. Positive. Let's do it. Si, senor. Death to the Celtic Horde. In position, sir. What is the meaning of this? Explain. When the Civil War ended, I went out of my way and asked for some favors. And quite frankly, they have been, injured to have a little revenge against your Celtics. And with half of them, you are not the only one who has been raising an army of Crusaders. Everyone, get ready. Portope, Crusader ta. Portals open within the northern districts of Academy City. French Divisional General Morel's 40th Chevalier Regiment enters School District 17, and German Brigadier General von Hindenburg's 50th Teutonic Division enters School District 8, confronting the 84th Crusader Field Army. British Colonel Harris' 1st Royal Knights Regiment enters School District 3, Spanish Colonel Gill's 19th Santiago Division enters School District 1, and Soviet-Russian General Brusilov's 90th Cossack Army Group enters School Districts 4 and 16 and confronts the 27th and 7th. And Brigadier General Isaac's 7th Sipahi Army enters School Districts 14, 19th, and 6th, confronting the 77th Crusader Field Army. All of the soldiers, crusaders, and sorcerers from different countries of Europe and the Republic of Turkey are armed with magic, enchanted swords, designated assault rifles, and different tactics and strategies. If you spot any survivors, take them out of the city. Good luck. He puts the walkie-talkie back to his side. I thought you said you couldn't create multiple portals. I could not. However, I enchanted the Crusader swords with a portal spell for them to create, and it seems this city is helping out with that. You are running the risk of turning the situation into a proxy war. Just like the Soviet Union and the United States, we are no different, aside from ideologies. And by your words, a promise is a promise. It is nice that you are learning from me. Ironic considering you are older than me. 8:10 p.m. Index, Sun, Uiharo, and Anti-Skills 99 squad continues to run down the street. We should be getting to the area. Just a little more further. A building crumbles to the ground. A giant foot crashes down. The group stops in their tracks. Bagan turns its head and immediately spots them. Still carrying Shokoko by her arms, Kongo and Wanai, with Awatsuki and Misuki's clique following behind, are still making their way towards the hospital. Don't worry, I'm sure the hospital will be fine. The girl stops in her tracks, staring at what is ahead. Evan Kensler's hospital has not been spared in the bombardment. As a result, 1/4 of the building is all that remains, but the other 3 are non-existent. Oh no. What are we supposed to do now? Crackling explosions and the sound of Bagan's roar gets their attention. Fear takes over the moment they spot the kaiju 1 mile away. The 2 anti-skill officers Okete and Arata respectively, inside of separate HSPS-15 powered suits, fires their ABRS at the approaching beast. Elizabeth, Ruriko, Kazuri, and the other officers hides behind Okate. Tiny explosions hits Bagan's chest with no effect. It lifts his right foot and swings it. It kicks Arata away and he crashes on the side of a building behind him. Yumikawa and Suzuri gets out of cover and aims their M60 and Minimi machine guns respectively. Her colleagues, except for the middle schoolers and the nun, aims their M32 grenade launchers. Bagan scoffs, finding what it is looking at humorous. A tremor shakes the ground underneath the surviving Togibudai girls. Another shakes it. Then the footfalls grow louder. Misaki's clique, Awatsuki, Wanai, Kongo, and Shokoho herself looks behind them. A 120-meter shadow materializes within the blackened smoke. The shadow forms into the noble dragon of the east. Godzilla III enters School District 7 as the clock strikes 8:15. The sight of him terrifies the Togibudai girls, causing them to step back a little, unknowing what he is going to do. Kongo starts to realize something. Wait, he's not paying attention to us. They look behind them to look at Bagan once more. Is he here for... Godzilla inhales. Then, with fierce anger, he belts out a mighty roar. The sheer volume deafens the girls, Anti-Skill, Index, Satin, and Uiharu, causing them to cover their ears. Bagan turns to his left, spotting him roaring at it. It angrily snarls and roars back at him. It walks forward to his direction, crashing through buildings with ease. Sun waves to the group to continue following her. Their hearing returns after 30 seconds. Hey, come on, let's go! They run with the girl leading the way. Ruriko turns her head to the left, seeing Godzilla in the distance staring down at Bagan. She turns back ahead and lets out a sigh. I never thought I would say this, but kick its ass, Godzilla. In the park, Zenov snaps his fingers near his ears. He can hear them and hears the surroundings. Goodness, Regan has some impressive vocal cords. I actually heard my heartbeat. Pfft, I have gotten used to it at this point. I haven't. Yeah, even through earplugs I still hear him. Well, regardless, to answer your question, boy, I will gladly teach you of our origin, as well as life within Atlantis. In the meantime, he opens his right hand and Hades flies into his palm. Euclides grips Gaia and Kamajo lifts his fist up like a boxer getting ready. We shall resume where we left off 4 days ago. Sir Kamajo, you saw it earlier. When Mazur gets hit, the pain transfers to his courier. Wait for the right moment to strike. Got it. Euclides digs Gaia into the ground, pulling out mounds of dirt. He swings it up in the air. Part of it forms into a shape of a shield. He catches it and hands it to the boy. Here, this will be useful for blocking Hades, and it will not be cancelled by your right hand that easily. I am sure he will try his best. Now, if your intention is to punch my face into the ground... Jonathan puts his foot behind him. Toma and Francis gets ready. Then do not disappoint me again, Kamijo! The combined European Crusaders, sorcerers, and soldiers utters battle cries as they clash against the Celtic Crusaders. Zenov dashes forward with his brother and Kamijo running ahead, swinging their swords and fists together. They clash, sword hitting axe hammer and fist hitting the dirt shield. Godzilla walks forward. The Togibudai girls get out of the way. They get to a safe distance. They watch as he gets closer to his grandfather's old enemy. Regan looks at his surroundings. Destroyed skyscrapers and buildings are all over. Several ideas runs in his head on what he can do. He and Bagan roars at each other. Then their walk turns into a run. The two finally clashes once more, bringing a shockwave in all directions. Like sumo wrestlers, they push and shove each other to gain the upper hand. Their equal strength is evident. Bagan grabs Godzilla's face and throws him to the ground. As he crashes, it throws a punch to his face. He moves, and its fist smashes onto the ground. He turns, swinging his tail at destroyed towers, flinging debris in its face. He gets up, swinging his open right hand, slashing at the beast's head. The pain carries over into Zenov, and he grunts from the pain. Kamijo, upon seeing it, swings his right fist. He connects with a hard punch. Euclides swings Gaia, nearly cutting through his brother's chest. Godzilla, like a bull, runs at Bagan, ramming into its stomach with his head. It falls to the ground with a hard thud. Kamajo swings his shield, hitting Xenoff in the stomach, and reels back. Godzilla shakes his head and roars. His dorsal fins glows and charges up. A 2,000-pound bomb hits his back, preventing him from firing an atomic breath. Bagan lifts up, swinging his left fist up, uppercutting him in the chin. Both Kamajo and Euclides runs at Xenoff. He blocks Gaia and the spiky-haired boy's fist. He pushes them both back. Mizora spins and swings its tail, and the spike at the end hits Bagan in the face. He staggers on his feet, but regains his balance. He ducks its flying fist. It flies over him, but he rises and bites on its tail, stopping it mid-air. It falls on the ground, and he holds onto it. He fires an atomic breath at both of its wings, destroying them. Godzilla lifts the beast up, throws him over his shoulders, and slams it back on the ground. The pain registers into Xenoff, and Kamajo punches him in the face and chest. Bagan rushes over, lifts his left foot, and stomps on Bagan's head. He lifts his foot, reaches down, and bites on its neck, yanking on it. Kamajo lands 4 left and right jabs to Xenoff's face. Mizora throws him off, but he does not go off his feet. It cracks its neck and snarls furiously. Its horns glows white. 5 damaged buildings are surrounded with white aura. They break from their foundations and lift upwards. They stop close to the beast. Godzilla stares up at the floating structures, realizing that his enemy has more in its arsenal. His eyes veers upwards. 47 Shearwater naval fighters of the 87 Attack Squadron from the Irish carriers Dublin and Cork are flying over and/or arriving to the city. Once more, the 84th Crusader Field Army have surrounded the area to protect their god. Godzilla's task has become much more difficult. One skyscraper flies towards him. He ducks, but the second and third smashes onto him. 3 Shearwaters dives and drops a pair of 2,000-pound bombs each before banking away. The Crusaders enchants magic and swings their blades, launching high-pressure beams from them. The kaiju becomes engulfed in explosion after explosion, and he staggers on his feet. Bagan dashes forward, grabbing his neck and slams him hard onto the ground with a sickening thud. At the end of the park, Xenoff ducks Kamajo's fist and deflects Gaia with Hades. He kicks Euclides away and uppercuts Kamajo's chin. He grips his axe hammer and launches himself forward, swinging it at Kamajo's head. Godzilla dodges a punch to his face by Bagan, quickly stands back to his feet, and counters with a slash under its chin. The pain registers into Xenoff, causing him to stop his attack. Toma balls his fist and punches him in the face. Jonathan swings Hades to his right, but the boy blocks it with his shield. Bagan slashes Mizora's face twice, and Toma throws a left and right punch to Johnny. The Dragon of the West launches itself away, dodging another slash. The Celtic Prime Minister blocks the fist with his hand and kicks Kamajo in the stomach, sending the boy back 20 feet. Our history begins with our birth in the year 3030 BC. It was a time in Atlantis known as the Golden Age, a glorious time. Growing up, Euclides and I were known as the noble and wild brothers of Atlantis. Can't imagine who was the wild. Guilty. But I have a reputation that still exists as an adult. He lifts Hades over his head as it glows white. I was more of the aggressive one of the two. He swings down, digging the axe hammer into the ground. Kamajo is confused on why he would do that. I have noticed that your right hand was having an issue canceling my flames, so I thought against using them. But it made me think. Allow me to show you how aggressive I can be. The heat underneath Kamajo's feet grows. He looks down. Cracks in the dirt appears, lining up with a whitely glow. The boy jumps out of the way. A geyser of fire explodes upwards. Xenoff takes his melee weapon out of the ground and points at the Esper. The flames curves, aiming down at the boy. Kamajo catches the fire with his right hand. As expected, he is having a hard time canceling it. The energy that I have is similar to your AIM diffusion field. He twirls his axe hammer. The only difference is that mine allows me to have little to no effect on anyone's power. In other words, I am immune to Esper or Sorcerer power. He sprints at full speed, ready to swing Hades to his right. A pile of rocks smashes onto the man's stomach. Euclides had blocked his advance. Allow me to expand on that. What we have is called mana. It is not like this world's mana. He swings the concrete-covered Gaia, flinging Xenoff away. The Irish Prime Minister flies and crashes into a building behind him and out the other side. Every Atlantean and Muon has mana in their blood. What may work in our home dimension does not in this one. Kamijo's mind thinks back to the moment when Dragon's Breath feathers landed on the brothers and did not do anything. Coming back to the present, he and Francis runs after Jonathan. That is why when Zenoff looked through Montgomery's grimoires, he only picked and read the ones that had our powers. And even if he read the others, it will do nothing to him. The two run through the alley. They spot Godzilla and Bagan pushing and shoving each other before disappearing from sight.
So what you're saying is I'm screwed?
Unless you have our mana, then yes. A wall of flames rushes down the alley. Kamijo blocks it with his right hand. Euclides digs his sword into the wall and launches himself over him. He swings downwards, but Zenoff blocks the blade. The fire disappears. Tomo runs, swinging his right fist, punching him in the face. Indeed. If you do have our mana, then you may have a chance. But knowing your right hand and the thing that lays inside of it, the possibilities and scenarios are unknown. He swings the flaming Hades, but he misses the two who ducks. 1 mile away, Godzilla pushes Bagan by its feet. It bites down in his neck and spreads its wings. It lifts up into the air, bringing him along, and slams him on his back. Celtic Crusaders conjures magic in their blades and swings them forward. Magical rope wraps and ties around his hands and pins them on the ground. Bagan plants its foot on his chest and swings its open left hand down. The blue glowing Ascalon sword smashes against its hand. A piece of flesh comes off from the hand and the beast shrieks. 7 flashes. Thin wires wraps around the Crusader's hands and slices through them with ease. The men's screen is cut off as Kaori Genzaki swings her 7 Heaven sword through the 19th squad with no trouble. Set to 0. The magic binds keeping Godzilla pinned down shatters into green zeros. The kaiju rises, firing his atomic breath at Bagan's face. He rises to his feet, but his eyes faces downwards. The 3 saints, Oral, Marshall, and Genzaki are standing their ground, wielding their melee weapons. The former faces Bagan, and the latter 2 are standing against the Crusaders, who wants to intervene. He looks back at the infamous dragon, shaking its head. It roars, and he roars back. They run towards each other once more, with Oral sprinting ahead. He jumps up into the air as the kaiju clashes. Ascalon glows green. He swings, peeling a scale off Mizora's face. Raygon closes his hand and throws his first punch to its face. He throws a left jab, and it too connects. It angrily swings his right hand, but the swung, white-glowing Ascalon sword blocks him. Godzilla grabs his head, lowers it, and he lifts his right leg, kicking the side of its face with its knee 2 times in a row. Well, that's very human of him. The kaiju lifts the beast and throws it far away. Bagan crashes through towers and lands on his back. Godzilla roars and gives pursuit after it, with William following suit. Overhead, 5 Shearwaters dives towards the 2. Green and blue magic lasers hiss the jets, and the aircraft explodes. They look up, seeing the balls of fire. They then spot Ignace and her battle nuns flying over them. On broomsticks, the Catholic nuns engages the Celtic naval fighters. Explosion spreads throughout. Jets explodes or becomes disabled. Nuns are shot and fall out of the sky. Raygon III and William looks back down to ground level as Mizora rises to its feet. Marshall's movement speed dodges every sword swung by Crusaders of the 12th Squad. He swings his sword, hunting, down behind them, throwing most of the men and women off balance. He swings the blade to his left, unleashing a slicing power at them, cutting through 5 Crusaders in multiple pieces, killing them. He points into the rest. Ranged attacks shoots from the blade as he swings, hitting the rest in multiple directions. 7 Crusaders ambushes him, swinging their swords. Without turning around, he swings the sword to his right, and the attacks cut through the men with ease. Pfft, you're supposed to have my back, missy. The Golem Ellis materializes, smashing his fist against the 27th Crusader squad. Cromwell stands behind the Knight Leader. Well, excuse me, I was a little bit busy not getting crushed. She waves the chalk in her hand to her left. Ellis blocks magical attacks with its body, turns, and punches 2 men in Celtic uniforms away. Half a mile away, Crusaders of the 88th Platoon, 14th Division, rushes on the streets, conjuring magical attacks at Godzilla, who does not pay attention to them. They go for another attack. Each of us swings her brilliant spear up, knocking the swords out of their hands. Ushibuka, Kyoyaga, Isehaya, Nomozaki, and Tsushima hacks and slash through the men, killing them or injuring them. Dantamiya steps forward and swings his anti-flame conjured Flamberg, negating fireballs from hitting his colleagues. He slams the blade on the ground, creating a shockwave, knocking 15 Crusaders off their feet. As Godzilla and Bagan roar at each other and rams into each other like animals, Dantamiya holds and points the blade at the remaining Celts. "Don't let up! Let none pass this point!" The Amakusa makes a battle cry as they charge at their enemy, engaging in a massive sword fight. 2 miles from the battle, San continues to lead Index, Uehiro, and the Anti-Scale 99 squad, with one HSPS-15 still operational. Ultinus appears on the shoulder of Index.
What are you doing here?
Kamijo told me to look after you. A statement that the nun has no time to argue against. The 25th platoon of the 48th Crusader Division rushes from the alleys and spots the group. They stop, and the officers aims their weapons. As the men in green camo uniforms runs forward, their necks are cut open in a gruesome manner. The teams and officers are stunned. And I got some extra protection. Sasha Krutseva, with a saw in her right hand and a sledgehammer in the left, jumps and uses the ladder to bash their skulls, killing them instantly. Anti-skill officers fires at the remaining Celtics, killing them as well. "Alright, let's move!" The group continues on. In the center of the district, a Crusader has her chest stabbed through. Lesser turns her head, digs the steel glove out, ducks a swinging blade, and punches the man in the balls. Her leader, Belub, kicks the man away and stands behind her. The other two, Lankas and Flores, stands behind them. "Draw me!" Magical wires forms on the edge of their steel gloves. They spin around each other, and the wires wraps around the surrounding Crusader's legs and arms. Belub slams the staff on the ground, then picks it back up. Its claws picks up gravel. She slams it back down, and the gravel explodes on impact, killing the tied-up men instantly. The girls hears Godzilla's painful shriek. They look behind them, and immediately, Flores and Lesser grabs Belub and Lankas, and they fly and jump up off of the street. Raygon crashes through the towers onto his back, killing the remaining trapped Crusaders underneath. Bagan roars at him as it rises, shaking its head. The 82nd and 83rd Crusader Divisions of the 84th Field Army collectively conjures restraining magic and shoots them from their swords. The magical ropes wraps around his arms and they begin to pin him down. He swings both of his arms, flinging most of them into the air, either letting them fall to their deaths, crushing, or smacking them in midair. Raygon himself stands and fires an atomic breath at Mizora. A plasma barrier blocks the blast, protecting it, and amusingly snarls at its failure. It lifts his right hand and taps it with its finger. Their barrier turns into a barrier shockwave, travels at 300 miles per hour, and hits him on his front. Godzilla shrieks in pain as he falls off his feet and crashes on his stomach. Bagan slowly steps forward, firing white plasma breath at him. He once again shrieks and shivers from the neck down. It opens his mouth, getting ready to fire another. Orwell launches himself up into the air, swinging his red glowing Escalon upwards, shutting the beast's mouth. His attention turns to him and blocks the blade with its horn. 100 Crusaders on Godzilla's left side aims their swords at him as they glow, getting ready to fire. A powered-up railgun hits the ground in front of the troops, exploding on impact. Godzilla looks down with his left eye. The Crusaders gets back to their feet, wondering where the blast came from. The smoke clears, revealing the crackling, powered-up electric bolts. Mikoto Misaka stands in front of the opposing Crusaders and her back facing the kaiju. She turns her head to the right and locks eyes with him. Hatred still exists within them. Internally, they cannot forgive one another. But then, Mikoto darts her eyes towards Bagan and Orwell fighting each other, then back at him. Godzilla darts his eyes at the Crusaders, then back at her. The two beings understands what they mean without saying a word. Misaka looks back at the Crusaders, and Godzilla puts his attention back onto Bagan fighting the former Aqua of the rear. He climbs up back to his feet, healing his wounds in the process. Electric bolts digs into the ground, lifting up black sand. They form into two swords in the third level 5's hands. She grinds her teeth, fuming with rage. Raygon growls as his dorsal fins flashes blue. He lifts his foot to take a step forward. She slightly bends her knees. Misaka jumps, and Godzilla takes a step. His footstep creates a tremor, bringing the Crusaders off balance. As her feet touches the ground once more, she runs forward. 3 Celtics swings their swords at her as she gets closer. She jumps, and Godzilla takes another step. She swings her left iron sand sword to her right and her right to her left. The rapid, vibrating sand particle slices through the three's chest and necks with ease. She ducks a blade and thrusts her left sword behind her, stabbing through the man's stomach. Her bolt zaps in all directions, stunning the others. Her eyes are full of rage, and she is no longer showing any mercy. She spins in place, sword stretched out, and in massive circles slices through the legs, arms, and throats of the surrounding stunned Crusaders. Two, who are not stunned, runs forward, thrusting their blades. She turns her body, parries them, and thrusts her iron sand blades behind and in front, stabbing them through the heart and head. 15 men with axes surrounds her. They all charge on her at once. The iron sand sword dissolves, but they quickly surround her body in an iron sand dome. The men furiously swing their axes. The moment their weapons touches the barrier, however, their handles holding the blades snaps. Godzilla's dorsal fins glows blue from tail to head. The iron sand dome breaks, revealing the Electromaster. Her arms are extended to the sides, with one coin in each of her hands. Bagan fires an atomic breath, hitting Bazora's face, preventing the beast from striking Orwell. Misaka fires a pair of railguns in two directions at the same time. The blast penetrates through 6 men each and blasts away the rest. Her bolts manipulates the iron sand, still floating in the air, and pierces through the remaining men, killing them. In her mind, she has never performed dual-wielding railguns, and she noticed that her power had grown significantly, but she has little time to dwell on it. She creates one iron sand sword and runs down an alley. She slices and dices through the Crusaders engaging her. Bolts zaps from her hair and strikes two, killing them and launching them out of the alley. She exits, then turns her head to the right. Her sword dissolves, and she throws her right hand upwards. Using the strings of bolts from her fingers, she climbs up a skyscraper as fast as she can. The two kaiju pushes each other down the road. Mikoto lands on top of the tower's roof and stares back at them. Orwell runs past her, and she stares at him. Bagan falls on his back. Godzilla follows it up with a left and right slash attack. A shearwater breaks through the Catholic battle nuns and dives to the ground. It drops a pair of 2,000-pound bombs and explodes on his back, interrupting him from firing an atomic breath. 2 more breaks through, dropping their bombs and hitting him. 2 bombs lands and explodes near Misaka, launching her off her feet. Bagan smirks as a wave of 50 shearwaters from the carrier cork appears. They dive, dropping their 2,000-pound bombs each. Bagan shields itself as the bombs around it explodes. Most hit Godzilla, but some explode all around him. Mikoto and the sorcerers are avoiding said bombs to not get killed. The frustrated Ignace and her nuns cannot head down because shearwaters without the bomb payloads are keeping them busy. Godzilla cannot do anything when the bombs are constantly being dropped. Crusaders jumps and lands on the roof that Misaka just jumped onto. She opens her hand, throwing strong bolts of lightning at the men, then throws one into the air. 3 bombs are hit mid-air. Bagan rises to his feet, charging at the cocky Mizora. 5 naval fighters dives, targeting her. Their bombs drops from underneath the aircraft. Her hands are covered in electricity, and she reels her arm back. 2 green lasers shoots over her and hits the 10 bombs in mid-air. Mikoto looks behind her. Chizuru Mugino's eyes looks down from the sky directly at her. I'm surprised you're still alive. You should know that I don't die that easily. Memories of fighting Meltdowner in the summer is still fresh in Mikoto's mind. I guess you're right. Besides, I'm here to find that bastard that destroyed my home. A friend of mine is handling it right now. 5 shearwaters dives, breaking through the battle nuns. Mugino digs into her pocket. She pulls out a silicone card and holds it in between her fingers. Well, let's hope that friend of yours takes care of him before I do. She tosses the card into the air. An orb forms and fires a laser at the card. As it breaks, the laser multiplies and hits the 5 diving aircraft before they drop their payloads. Some nearly hits Ignace and Lucia, aggravating them for only a moment. Mugino spots a low-flying shearwater. It fires its 20mm Gatling gun, but all of the bullets disintegrate by her plasma shield. Energy builds into Shizuru's artificial hand. She aims and fires a high-speed particle wave cannon, and the blast dissolves the aircraft and killing the pilot. The wings of the destroyed jet flies past her and crashes on the side of a tower. A female crusader is stopped in their tracks from swinging her axe at Mugino by Misaka's iron sand sword through the heart. The Force Level 5 looks to her. Never considered you the killing type. Piss me off this badly? This is what you get. Lucky me. The girl stands back to back as 20 Crusaders of the 10th and 5th squads surrounds the two. All at once, they charge at the two. Multiple colored explosions suddenly erupts. Screams are heard and the girls shields themselves. The smoke clears and they look in front of them. Gunha Sugita, the 7th level 5 Esper, stands with his back to them. His spiky black hair, white headband, rising sun shirt, hanging jacket, and white pants flutters in the wind. His eyes gazes upon the two kaiju. Godzilla and Orwell are becoming overwhelmed by Bagan's telekinetic power, throwing tower after tower at them without giving them a rest, but they continue to hold their ground. A grin forms on his face. Okay, I see what's going on. I got this. He jumps up and darts himself off a pocket of air away from the girls. Bagan takes in an inhale, charging up its white plasma breath. It exhales, but a sudden uppercut from Sugita stops the beast from firing. Godzilla is a bit stunned and confused by the sudden appearance of the 15-year-old. The boy, cross-armed and arrogantly smiling, looks to him. Hey, big guy! Looks like you need a lot more guts to handle this! Bagan angrily roars, swinging his left hand at the level 5. Gunha turns and stops the hand with his own forehead. On impact, he punches the hand away. It fires white plasma breath at the boy. Unfazed, Sugita winds his right fist back. Amazing! Punch! He swings his fist forward, launching himself out of the blast, and punches Bagan in the face, causing it to stop firing. The boy jumps off from its snout and kicks it in the right eye. Sneakily, Godzilla gets behind it and grabs onto its tail. Bagan realizes it and extends its wings. He fires an atomic breath at both of them and its back, preventing it from flying away. Sugita uppercuts it in the jaw as Ragon hoists the 125-meter beast in the air. Mizora is lifted over his shoulders, drop-kicked by Gunha, and crashes hard back on the ground on its back. Godzilla hoists it over his shoulder and slams it again. He lifts it up once more and slams it on the ground. Still holding onto the tail, he drags the beast through 5 skyscrapers and throws it a quarter-mile away. Bagan crashes on the ground, and the tower it crashes into buries it. Moments later, it bursts from the rubble furious. It looks at Godzilla and Sugita, of whom the former snarls, and the latter cracks his knuckles and rolls his shoulders, still with a grin on his face. Misaka and Mugino looks at each other and shrugs. 10 Crusaders of the 85th Squad runs at the two, collectively swinging their swords down. The girls turns around. Kuroko Shirai appears behind them and teleports them away. They reappear behind them, and the level 5s fires a railgun and an HSBW cannon together, killing up to 5. Shirai teleports white needles, puncturing the other 5's legs and hands, taking them down. Mugino finishes them off, but 15 more jumps onto the 30-meter building. As the clock strikes 8:30 p.m., a 50 caliber bullet pierces through 3 Crusaders' skulls. The girls looks to where the bullet came from. Kinohata fires her Berry's 50 BMG twice, and Hamazura fires his L96A1, with Takisubo guiding their aim with her AIM Stalker ability. To their left, Hamazura aims and fires, killing a man with an axe behind Shirai. Behind them, Kinohata kills the man from swinging his sword at Mikoto. She herself recognizes her and gives her an OK sign. The 4th level 5 smiles. There's my backup. You two, get going, unless you want to get shot in the head. Shirai, without hesitation, grabs Misaka and the two disappears back onto the street. An item kills the rest of the Crusaders before Mugino turns back to the skies. As the fighting continues, no one knows what is going on. But a change starts to flow throughout the districts of the destroyed, battle-stricken city. A change in mood. From shock, horror, unpredictability, to determination, anger, and revenge.